Hi. This is quite an energetic yoga class. It's a big blustery day outside, very autumnal here in England. And it's inspired me to bring in some real zest and energy and power into this mini yoga class. We're going to be looking at Twisted Half Moon, building up to it bit by bit, taking it apart a little bit and looking at poses that are similar to it. And we'll be doing it in quite a vinyasa flow kind of way. So I hope that it's going to make you feel energetic as you power through. And do remember, please, that if you're enjoying my yoga classes, please do look on patreon.com where you can support me and sign up for as little as $3 a month. And you get lots of extra added benefits there too. So let's begin. I want you to come to hands and knees and bring your knees together and your feet together and tuck your toes under. Push your hands down and really straighten your arms and press your knees and your feet together. So you feel that big inner ankle bone really press into the other inner ankle bone. Keep that in your left leg and pick up your right leg and press it behind you as you keep your abdominal muscles engaged. Then bring your left arm out to the side, palm facing down. Be strong here. Bring your hand down. Bring your right knee down, again, toes tucked under. Pick up your left foot, stretch it behind you. Keep your abdominal muscles strong, like you're corseting your waist. Then bring your right arm out to the side. 3, make sure those back toe tips are pointing straight down, or feel that they are. 2, and that leg is straight. 1, bring your hand down and come into downward facing dog. So separate your feet. Walk your feet back as needed and push your hands forward. We want some length in the backs of the legs. It's going to really help you with your twisted half moon. So push that in as much as you can now. Press your heels down. Then bring your feet closer together so that you could put one of your feet inside your feet, between your feet. And pick up your right leg, and as you squeeze the left buttock in, bring that right leg just parallel to the floor. Don't hike it up or turn the foot out to the side. Even look under your belly and check that the toe tips and the knee is pointing straight down. Then bring your knee towards your nose. And then go back into that three-legged dog position. And do that 2 more times. Bring your knee to your nose. Keep squeezing the left leg strong. Back to three-legged dog. Final time, knee to nose. Back to three-legged dog, and then bring your leg down. So you're back into downward facing dog. Second side. Inhale the left leg up. Stabilize the pose by squeezing your right buttock in. Bring your left knee to your nose, towards your nose. Back to three-legged dog. 2 more times. Bring your knee to your nose. So really moving with precision and care here. Press back. 1 final time. Knee towards your nose. Back to three-legged dog, and then place your left foot down, downward facing dog. Again, a space in between your feet that's about as wide as one of your feet. Choose the narrow foot if your feet are different. Inhale, raise your right leg up for three-legged dog, and then bring your knee towards your nose like you did before, but this time you're going to step the foot forward. So come onto your right fingertips and step your right foot forward between your hands. Bring your back knee down and swoop your arms forwards and all the way up. So we're going to be working progressively here. Each little vinyasa krama is going to get a little bit more challenging and a little bit more interesting each time. Bring your hands down by your sides, keep your chest lifted, and as you inhale, pick up your back knee. I find it's easier to do that really quickly. Bring your arms back up again. So you're now in Crescent Warrior. And then slowly bring your hands down to the floor and step your back foot forward. We're going to come into standing splits here. Move your hands forward so that the distance between the top of your big toe and your thumbs is about 20 centimeters or so. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. Pick up your back leg, and you can keep your standing knee bent. I'm protecting a hamstring injury here, so I'm bending my right knee, but if you want to straighten that leg, then do. Now we're going to go back into Crescent Warrior here. Before we do, lift your chest, lift your chin, look forwards. Then look down and walk your hands back to either side of that front foot. Bend the right knee and step to the back of your mat. Come back into Crescent Warrior. Arms come up. Downward facing dog. Touch down, step back. Again, a space between your feet. As you inhale, raise your left leg up and back. Squeeze the right buttock in. And as you exhale, step that left foot forward between your hands. Bring your back knee down. Sweep your arms forward. Keep your back toes tucked under here, by the way. So coming into Anjaneyasana, bring your hands down. As you inhale, bring your arms up. On your next inhalation, pick up your back knee. So now you're in Crescent Warrior. Look down at your left foot, bring your hands down, step your back foot forward, standing splits. Bring your fingertips down to the floor, underneath where your shoulders are going to move forward to, and then pick up that back leg. Look under your belly here and make sure that the toe tips and the kneecap are pointing down. And to make this pose more doable, bend the left knee. But try and have the back leg as straight as you can, with the little toe pointing down towards the floor. Good, now do bend your left knee, walk your hands back, and then come back into Crescent Warrior. Bend the left knee deeply, lower your right foot, and then skim it under the radar to the back of the mat. Come back into Crescent Warrior, bring your arms up, then downward facing dog. Touch down, step back. This is quite a difficult sequence, so if you're struggling a bit, it's normal. Do the best that you can and keep coming back to this, and it will get easier and easier. Come forward into plank. For Chaturanga, you've got an option to bring your knees down to the floor, come partway down the push-up. Then Cobra. Land, inhale, lift your chest, drag your hands back. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under and push back. Okay, feet again a little closer than they normally are in down dog. That foot distance apart. Inhale your right leg up, three-legged dog, and as you exhale, step the foot forward in between your hands. This time keep the back leg straight. Move your arms forward, come up into Crescent Warrior again. Now, bring your hands down, but keep the chest up. We're going to come into a variation of Warrior 3 here, Parivrtta 3. Step your back foot forward in lots of little tiny steps. This is quite a balancing act. Then move your shoulders back, lift up your arms, and slowly, it's like a bird feeder here, slowly tip part way down. Now that back leg is really important here. Toe tips point down, squeeze that leg as straight as you can. And again, the standing leg can bend if you need it to. Standing splits, bring your fingertips down to the floor. And again, bent knee or straight leg with the standing leg, but the back leg, try and keep it straight. Bend your right knee more, walk your hands back, and then step back, lower the foot, and then skim it to the back of the mat. Crescent Warrior again. Shoot your arms forward, come up, lift your chest. Really do the back bend here, lift your heart. Downward facing dog. Touch down and step back. Second side. Inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward between your hands. Swoop your arms forward, Crescent Warrior again. Squeeze the back leg, squeeze your bottom, lift your heart. Bring your hands down, keep your chest up. Warrior 3, Parivrtta 3. Step the back foot forward as many steps as you need. And then bring your hands up, bring your back leg up. Squeeze the back leg as straight as you can. Remember, the standing leg can bend. Try not to lift this right hip up. Have the hip point pointing down to the floor. Keep that. Bring your hands down to the floor for standing splits. Lift your chest a little bit up away from the floor. Then coming back to Crescent Warrior, bend your left knee, walk your hands back, lower the back leg and then skim it to the back of your mat. Crescent Warrior, bring your arms up. Downward facing dog, touch down and step back. So we'll do the vinyasa here. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Cobra. You can do up dog here if you prefer. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, final sequence, and we're going to add in twisted half moon. Inhale, raise your right leg up and back. Look at the leg, make sure the toe tips are pointing down, because that's what you want when you're in twisted half moon. Step your foot forward between your hands. Crescent Warrior again. Shoot your arms forward, come up. Take a breath. Now, as you keep the chest lifted, bring your hands down. Firm your abdominal muscles here. Warrior 3. Step your back foot forward as many steps as you want. Keep your abs engaged. As we tire here, we tend to let the lower back collapse and hammock the back. Standing splits. Bring your fingertips down to the floor. Back leg stays as it was. Bring your right arm out to the side. Then turn your belly and chest towards that right hand and bring that hand up overhead as best you can. This is a difficult pose. And remember, the standing knee can be bent if you need it to be. 3, back leg straight. 2, squeeze the right buttock in. 1, bring your hand down, walk your hands back. We're going to step back to Crescent Warrior here. Bend the right knee, step the left foot. Bring your arms up overhead. Downward facing dog. Touch down, step back. Side 2. Inhale the left leg up and back. You're nearly there. Exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. Crescent Warrior. Squeeze the left buttock in. Bring your arms up. Hold this for a moment. Try and straighten that back leg. Then from here, bring your hands down. Warrior 3. Bring your shoulders back even here as you step forwards. Come part way down. Try not to lift up the right hip here. Have the hip point pointing straight down. Standing splits. Bring your fingertips down to the floor. Twisted half moon. Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana. Bring your left arm out to the side. And then twist to the left. Keep squeezing your left buttock in and moving it towards your back foot. And remember, that left knee can bend. 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hand down. Bend the left knee. Walk your hands back. Crescent Warrior. Touch down to the back of your mat. Sweep your arms forward. Come up. Downward facing dog. Touch down. Step back. And come into child's pose. Bring your knees to the floor. Big toes touch. Let your lower back broaden and widen. A few breaths here. Then come into cat pose. Lift your head. Separate your feet. Walk your hands back a little bit here so that your wrists are under your shoulders, and then round your back. Walk your hands back. Bring your knees and your feet together. Come into Vajrasana, so you're sitting on your heels. Just a couple of poses here to decompress. Twist to your right. Move your hands over to the right. Right hand on the floor behind you. Left hand on the outside of your right leg. A gentle twist. Releasing the muscles on your back here. Lift your hands. Twist the other way. Slightly squeeze your knees towards each other here. Float your hands, turn back to center. Then from here, come into rabbit pose. So come back up to hands and knees. Bring your knees and your feet together and tuck your toes under. Walk your hands back so that you can grab your heels and bring the top of your head to the floor. Arms really straight here as you lift your bottom. 3, 2, and 1. Lift your head off the floor, bring your hands to the floor, and come to bridge pose. So sit your bottom down. Completely lost the vinyasa here. We're just coming into some decompressive poses here to make the practice a little bit more all-round, a little bit more complete. Push your feet down, pick your bottom up, straighten your arms, and walk your upper arms closer to each other. So do come back to this sequence, practicing the elements of twisted half moon. It's really good for your Warrior 3 practice 2, lengthening the hamstrings for standing splits. Lovely Crescent Warrior work there too, preparing you there for Warrior 1. It's all good stuff. Energetic, proud. Release your hands, slowly lower your bottom. Just for 1 minute Shavasana, do stay with me here. Keep your knees bent if you want, or lengthen your legs to the corners of your mat. Close your eyes and soften, relax, completely let go. Now bend your knees one leg at a time and roll over onto your right side. Keep your eyes closed. Rest your head in your arm. Now press down with your left hand and then your right and bring yourself up to sit. Bring your hands into heart center and slightly turn your fingertips away from yourself. Sit tall. Lower your chin. Release your hands and bring them down onto your legs. Then lift your chin and open your eyes. Namaste. Well done. If you would like a more complete class, more guidance, more meditation, more pranayama, and a fuller, deeper yoga experience, then do feel free to join my online classes. They're 75 minutes long. I teach 2 a week. Have a look at the details in the class description here below the video, or join me on Patreon, where you can get recordings to those 75-minute classes, and there are over 150 of them now. So you have a whole library of a complete all-round yoga practice at your disposal for very little every month. Have a look at all the details on Patreon. Take care, everybody, and namaste.